Hello everybody, this is Maniac 4 Bricks. You might remember a couple months ago I mentioned in a Bricklink Haul a little interesting story of a part-time job that I picked up in inventorying and organizing for a Bricklink store. These are listing some of their parts and not worrying about my own collection, but it's been working very well. I've been doing it on a weekly basis every weekday, and it's always fun to find new things and even learning some new things in the process. Even after writing Bizarre Lego, which you can check out in the description below to the Kickstarter, even after writing that, I'm still learning things that could go into the volume 2, or if the project on Kickstarter goes well, it could go into volume 1. So, with that being said, there are still some other projects at home that I've been working towards, some of my collection, some from mocks, and I decided to pick up a couple things recently to accommodate those. So, this is the second Bricklink haul from Megan's Bricks. If you want to check out their Bricklink store, link is in the description down below. Actually, earlier today, I was helping with arranging the parts for Pop's Block Shop. So it was kind of fun. It's like, oh, I recognize that name from other social media. So starting things off with a banger, I have finally have myself a moon crater base plate. This is something that I've actually wanted for quite some time for its, oddity, for its historic value. Everybody loves these kinds of base plates when thinking of classic space. And I did pick this up because not only did we just find one and I cleaned it up a bit and I'm like, yeah, it looks good to me. But also, it's something I could use with my classic space display after building the Galaxy Explorer, which I've also paired with Benny's Spaceship, which I am also pairing with Benny's Space Squad, the Space Cruiser, several other classic space sets. Some of them I've actually reviewed on this channel many years ago. You can check those out in the description down below or in the pinned comment section for more information. This one does have a few things here and there, but I'm personally okay with it and am still happy to have this thing. This is the kind of thing that LEGO will never make again, unfortunately, just by its very nature. Having a large textured area like this that basically cannot adapt to pieces, even though the rest of the base plate is perfectly fine. Yes, this actually fits a 4x4 area. I believe this one fits 2x2. I don't know if that was intentional at the time. I don't know if there were any practical uses of it, but it is still cool to have one of these nonetheless for my classic space display. Now moving on with a couple other parts we have in this bag right here. So I have two major projects and then a few little oddities here and there to talk about. So you might remember also earlier this year, I had a Pick-a-Brick order from the LEGO website, aka Bricks and Pieces, formerly. I finally got to place one of those kinds of orders, because I've never actually done that before, and this was right at the crux when they changed Bricks and Pieces to Pick-a-Brick. And that order included a lot of dark tan burp pieces, big ugly rock pieces. I said in that video that I was going to use those towards my stud side heights, as well as possibly working into another mountain-based project, which, but most of it is probably going to start with stud side heights and work from there. But that is something that I'm still constructing, and I thought, hey, might as well try for a few more. I do have some of these in reddish brown already. I even have a couple of LERPs in gray, dark gray, well, mostly dark gray, dark bluish gray, and reddish brown, but it doesn't hurt to have a little bit extra just to get the process moving a bit faster. I will try to secure these a little bit better and decorate them a bit more so it's not as obvious of, just facing it all throughout. They will get dispersed in a good way, but that is a project for the Studside Heights, my LEGO Beach Town. When that is ready, I will have a new video for that. I know there hasn't been a video for quite some time. That's because I got a lot more to work on that. Especially because I've never built a mountain with a train tunnel through it before. I've never built a train tunnel itself before, so there's a lot of guess and check doing that, but I am enjoying what I can, and when there's more updates, it will get posted. Now we have these other two bags here that are full of Bionicle headpieces, masks, and a few other things. Mostly these are for the Bionicle mask wall, as a project that I started over a year ago, and even longer ago before that, collecting masks and making a system-based Bionicle mock wall out of them. But these are also ones that just wanted to fill in a few more areas while I knew that they were available. And I'm excited. I'm excited adding a few more in here. I do want to build another, couple sections to the Bionicle mask wall itself. The video for that can be linked down below, but I'm far from done with that project itself because there's still plenty more I want to. It's just a matter of getting certain parts in the right quantities. And I was also playing around with a couple designs where I'm like, oh, maybe I know how it's going right now, but maybe I can change it up so it can be more efficient. And that has yet to surface. So when that happens, once again, I will post about it all through the socials. But to start things out here, yeah, there we go. I'm going to move out a couple pieces not related to the Bionicle project. And then we'll arrange a couple that are. So, we have heads. I don't mind if they have the brain stalks in whatever colors, or if they don't. Some of these I actually do need to have plain, so I can always just take them back out using a brick separator. I do need some more Kodo heads for that wall, because I pretty much have all the masks. I got like 1 or 2 left, but they're a little more expensive, and that's okay. But all the main masks from that lineup I do have and would like to try to prop up for display, because the frame's the only thing left. There are a couple of odd masks in here. Technically, these are named masks from 2008, but it's going to be very difficult to actually fit them on the mask wall with everything else. I mean, this one, a little bit more feasible, but still has a lot that leans back. The wall itself usually isn't that long behind it, so it could be a little tricky, even though it does have the right connection point. And this one, well, if that one was long, then this one is immensely longer. But even as it is, it's a really cool looking piece I'd like to use sometime in the future. Anyways, I want to actually find another one of this in the Pearl Light Silver, if I believe it's correct, color of it, because they were available in one set. And I was talking with somebody on Twitter, and I came up with an idea for a mock that would be really awesome if I found this in its other color. So we'll have to see how that goes sometime later. Now on to the masks. So 2 orange ones that I have here are actually a little bit of the collection, but also a little bit of reclaiming from the mocks. I don't want to reiterate it too much. I've already talked about it enough. But it is still a recovery. It is still something I am working on in the background of everything, trying to rebuild some of my mocks. We're stolen at Brick Fair, Virginia, 2022. I still have no idea who the perpetrator or perpetrators were, and I'm just working on it based on what images I have, generating a parts list. I did have a Bricklink Haul before from Enchanted Bricks, who helped out with a whole bunch of parts. Now, as far as the masks go, these are filling in a couple of gaps, and I believe some of them might actually be completing certain wall sections. You can also check out another video down below where I update more about that, but these are really cool. I'm pretty sure all of these I did not have in those colors before, so that's really awesome. The Picari, I'm gonna have to be more careful about at conventions, because apparently whoever stole my mocks really likes the Picari, because I had a whole bunch of mocks with that in it, in green, in red, in white. I might have another white one, I'm not sure. I had one that was a little lesser shape. I'm not sure if I still have that. But yeah, clearly they were drawn into it. It's just coincidence I keep using that mask for different projects. But either way, still cool to have that there. Now, there is also a Krana, which I'm getting much closer to completing that section as far as the actual masks on the wall, which is fantastic. I am really looking forward to that because it's so close. It looks so wonderful right now, and it's only so much left in order to really bring it all together. It also will help with the heads being here to also complete it behind each of them. And then the last part that I have for this haul may seem unassuming, but if you saw recently, past couple months, I did have every Life on Mars retail set built for a convention display. And I'm still learning a lot about Life on Mars. It was actually really fun to build all of those for the convention and talk about them with fans. There were a lot of fans who also remembered the theme fondly and were enjoying seeing the AeroTube hangar all put together and actually operating and working with all the different models, which is really cool. But this was something I learned recently that I had to I learned it through my store as well as through RR Slugger on YouTube. So be sure to check him out because he had a great video related to life on Mars recently. So there's a lot of video plugs. So 2 things I learned. 1, the Martian heads are actually produced in 2 different types. There are some of these that have ears and some that don't. You can tell because the ones with ears have this oval area on each side of their head. You can kind of see it even peeking out from the front. And then this is one without that ear structure. I'm not entirely sure why they changed it and why it was like that during the theme's run. Remember, this only lasted a year for this particular theme. And there's apparently a lot of these, variants of with or without ears throughout these Martian heads. It's not like a particular character or anything. It could happen to almost any of them. RR Slugger also pointed out in his video that there is apparently some prototype version of these heads where it actually has a oval area around the eyes, which I do remember from the magazines, but never really thought much about it. So it is actually a fun thing thinking about that now. That, again, more variants of these Life on Mars figures. I do have to look through the ones that I built at the convention to see if I have one, the other, or both of any of those particular ones. That will be really fun to explore, even though it was after the fact of displaying. Then there's this piece. This is a droid body, a typical droid body. It was also used in Life on Mars for most of the Martian figures, but it is in an unusual color of it. This is in medium green, or light medium green? I'll update it in the description. This is an unusual color because normally it belongs to Altair. It is found with that figure particularly in lime. But there are some copies of this figure that have this brighter color, which is very unusual, very rare, and I wanted to pick it up pretty much right after listing it on the store. I learned about it because I found it while listing parts in the store, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to need to grab that before somebody else does. So I listed it legitimately in the store. I talked about it with my my bosses, and I was allowed to pick it up in my order. So I'm very happy with that. I actually would like to build some Life on Mars mocks sometime in the future. Don't know if it's going to be particularly next year, but sometime in the future. I was very much inspired by my display and having all the sets and discussing it with other fans. So I really want to try to make more with the Martian stuff. I've been learning a lot more of Life on Mars now than I had learned growing up, and I grew up with the theme. In 2001, I was 6 years old, and I had a couple of those sets, both with astronauts and Martians in them, and there's so much more that I am growing to appreciate about this theme as an original space theme that I am, I want to take it anytime further than I can. So once again, thank you to Megan's Bricks for helping me with setting up this order. And thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, check out RR Slugger for his video about Life on Mars, which has some really good information about the Martian figures themselves, and something that I am looking forward to going into future LEGO themes, especially with dark turquoise being a very mainstay color nowadays. As far as his video, I believe I put it in the comments in there, but I personally stand by using the skeleton arms that we have nowadays as the way to go for the Martian arms, because it fits a little bit better compared to the legs of the figures. The arms that they originally came out with were a little bit mechanical in their joints, so I think it looks a little more organic if you use the modern day skeleton arms, but that's just me. Be sure to check out his video to understand more of what I'm talking about. We'll get more to that sometime later, and we'll get more to this sometime soon. I will do a short video of updating the mask wall and adding the masks appropriately on there. We'll see you next time with more LEGO videos. Happy holidays and have a good new year.